ASMR
business.
Oh, then should we do it for... Shall we? Well, I better press record anyway. So, some extras for all you freaky deekers out there who love ASMR.
What's that you've
got? That works.
What's that you've got there, Em?
I've got crunchy popcorn. Popcorn in a little old-fashioned box. But apparently ASMR, I think it on me, this is how it makes me feel. It's like someone's going like Do you know what I mean? You know, it's like slightly annoying. Like, ooh.
It depends what it is. If it's animals eating stuff, I fucking love it. It's so cute.
Really?
Yeah. Not in a sexy way.
Oh.
You said that as if
I didn't.
I had strange tastes.
Anyway, we've got our popcorn because...
Can you hear this? Probably. It's horrible, I'm sure.
Today, I can't say podcats, that's an Adam Buxton thing. We like Adam Buxton.
Podcats, is that what he says?
He says, hello, podcats. We can't take that. Pod
kittens.
Pod nerds. Pod geeks. Anyway, we've got our popcorn because we are doing slightly more of a fun episode here. A bit more of a popcorn horror.
And cheesy poofs.
Poofs.
That's Cartman. Cartman says cheesy poofs.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Well, at least we're not doing product placement.
No.
No, what's it's here.
Generic what's this?
Generic what's it. I'm gonna slowly open it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it wasn't very good. It wasn't a good crunch. My brother would find this so annoying. He hates the noise of anyone eating. He will tut and tell you off.
Oh dear, I hope he's not
and
listening.
if my brother if you go to the cinema with my brother, he's one of those people, and I do get it, if someone does that during a film, he looks behind him and goes, really obviously. He's like, can you stop rustling wrappers?
I was in a screening once and somebody went, shh.
To you?
Not to me, no. Someone was having a little talk, but it wasn't that, I don't know. Anyway,
I will shush people that are being super
have zero
annoying.
tolerance. I mean, they were
Because you've all paid to see a film.
Yeah.
You paid to see a film. Yeah.
It felt a little bit...
It can be too moany.
Firm.
Anyway, right. On with the pod. We've warmed up.
Cheesy poof dust.
Poof
right.
dust.
Okay.
All right.
So then.
Yes, it's us against evil, but we also like to shout about it and praise its merits in the movies. And today sees the first of our wild card movie pods, where one of us gets to play the Joker and pick a film that may not be of Oscar-worthy fame or even remotely intelligent or even have good reviews in this case. But for some reason, it shook us by the shoulders, it sent tingles down our spines, and it helped cement its place in our own personal horror movie history. It's my turn today, and I have chosen House from 1986, I think it is.
Is it 6?
Well, I put 1985
I
here, and then I think it was one of those things where it's maybe 85 in the States and maybe 86
we
in the UK.
used to get it much later, didn't we, in those days?
So House, okay, I know some of you will probably groan, and hopefully some of you may utter a tiny little, yay, I love that. So we're just gonna be revisiting this less obvious 80s gem and give it some much needed Kim and M love. Now I've chosen this simply because it genuinely did spook me a lot when I watched it, but I was only 11, and it brings back happy days for me. And I have since, on the rewatch and researching this, learned a lot more about its deeper elements and its merits and how it works. But Kim, what's your kind of experience or opinion of House?
I certainly watched it as a very young child around the time it came out. I loved horror. We've talked about this before. Both grew up watching horror films, as our Disney almost. I I enjoyed it. I'm not sure I fully understood it, but I liked the monsters in it, and I liked the zaniness, because there is a zaniness
Good
about
word.
it.
Yeah.
It is described as a horror comedy, although I think it does lean more into horror than comedy. The House 2 is more comedic. Anyway, there are comedy elements. I stand by.
I think there was quite a lot of comedy when I rewatched it.
Well, and
like with the funny montages and their use of music.
And casting,
Right.
yeah.
No, that's it. That's all I was going to say. Like, they had a Mamas and Papas tune when they're showing him going slightly mad and things.
And casting George Wendt, who famously is best known as Norm from Cheers, who is a comedy actor, and he plays that role pretty comedically as well. But there is this underlying, really serious PTSD theme that they are exploring, and the loss of a child.
Yes,
as
and
well,
a divorce. And I don't know about you, but when I watched it, obviously because I didn't know anything really, but I'm talking, I was pretty young. I didn't know anything about the Vietnam War.
No.
I didn't give a shit about losing kids or divorces.
Who does
So
give a shit about
none
those
of that kind of rang any bells to me. I didn't really care about it.
Fighting monsters in the
Yeah.
house. And I remember strongly at that time liking any film in which there was a gateway to hell or another dimension, and there were monsters that were unleashed. I really enjoyed
I loved that. And the 80s, I've got a list that I've written down somewhere coming up. Like the 80s, we all know is considered the sort of wonder years of horror, I guess, for many people. But there were loads of those portal, like you open a door and there's like, you're in a different dimension.
And it's set in a domestic setting often, isn't it? So it's that.
Yes, and that's how it works on many levels. I'll get into that.
Yeah.
So for me, the film hooked me in. This might have been for you as well, and for a lot of people out there, because we're going back to the VHS, those brilliant VHS years. I do remember going to the video store and seeing that brilliant cover. I'm going to show. Hopefully the lighting doesn't go in.
It is brilliant.
So it's very simple. It's house, and there's a disembodied hand, which doesn't actually really. That particular hand doesn't feature in the film.
Is that not Big Ben's hand?
I guess it is, but it's sort of come off, and his hand doesn't come off.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And to this day, still think the tagline is one of the best. Ding dong.
His arm.
You're dead.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I fucking talked when you were
You
doing
stole
the
my
tagline.
moment. No, I know you
What
know.
am I doing?
You love your
I was going to say his arm comes off at one point, but not at the wrist,
maybe.
at the shoulder. Anyway.
So for me, it was just, I think I saw that in the video store, the title, the image of the hand, the ding dong, you're dead. And we rented that out many times.
I remember the all the times that he's in Vietnam, but it's in his head because he's writing his book. Because we'll go through the premise in a minute. But as a kid, I didn't understand that what that was showing me was something in his head. I would have been about 7, I think. I thought he was
young.
I thought he was really going to that, but he does at some point in the film. He does actually go through the portal, if you like, and Big Ben takes him through, and he is in that Vietnam setting, really actually bodily. But at the beginning of the film, when those Vietnam sequences,
it's memories, and he's trying to write a book. About his experiences of being a Vietnam War vet. Okay, so one of the reasons I want to sing its praises is because, there are a lot of fans out there for House, thankfully, but some of the critics, whatever you think of critics, good or bad, there's good ones and bad ones out there, right?
I'm one.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but you're a sort of journalist.
Yeah,
you don't just critique.
No, I don't. I rarely do critiques these days.
But honestly, some of the responses of this film are snobbishly derogatory, and that's probably why I want to sing its praises, because I do think they're sort of missing the beauty of the film, and they're missing the point. So, for example, Rotten Tomatoes
You've written here rotten, boring tomatoes.
Oh yeah. You do that bit. You say, what do they say? Because I'm not a massive Rotten Tomatoes fan. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, Rotten Tomatoes aggregates journalist reviews. So someone on Rotten Boring Tomatoes, says, house crumbles under cheap effects, chaotic tonal shifts and aimless antics, ending up as a hyperactive, juvenile horror comedy. Which is totally untrue. None of that is true.
And patronising.
Juvenile
comedy. It sounds like
it's not juvenile. It's dealing with PTSD. I mean,
the juvenile aspects are the sort of comedic aspects and the puppetry.
The animatronics.
Yeah, there's some very cheesy. No, not cheesy. There's some very fun moments with the puppetry, with the humour, with the missing hand. I mean, it goes slapstick.
Yeah,
it does go slapstick.
Was this a contemporaneous review, or is it more recent?
Because, I don't even know what that means.
Well,
I think that's an old
from a
review.
peer. Yeah, so they felt that the effects were cheap back then, even in 1985.
I mean, the only time it looks cheap to me is actually at the very end. But anyway, when Big Ben comes back. But
at the time,
it would have looked amazing.
I thought it was at the time, and
Just
I think
bit rubbery.
I think it looks good now.
It does.
But then we like animatronics now. I think maybe we have more reverence for them in the wake of CGI and a lot of bad CGI.
Oh, but, God, I mean, this would be destroyed by CGI.
That there were 17 creators that worked on the puppets for this film.
I love the creativity of it. I mean, it's...
And that closet monster...
Oh, my God.
Was great. And so, like...
For me, as I said, I saw it as genuine. And I'll go into the bits that actually frightened me. And I mean, actually really spooked me to the point where I was sort of, I'm a bit of a, what's the opposite of a masochist in that. And I think this is one of the joys of horror in general. I would get it out, the film, put it on, knowing I was going to, and I'd watch it on my own. I'd make myself watch it on my own, knowing I was going to be scared. So I was enjoying knowing when I was going to be scared. So a bit sick like that. But there's a really funny, ridiculously unenthusiastic synopsis also. I think this is on Rotten Tomatoes, and it just says, a mounted fish moves, household objects levitate, and monsters haunt a troubled novelist. Which is so, a mounted fish moves.
Did AI write that?
Household objects levitate, monsters haunt a troubled bloke. I mean, yeah, that
makes me think of Billy Bass. Do you remember that singing fish that they put on the wall?
Yes.
That's what that makes me.
That was a really weird trend for a while, having that. Anyway. So a very, very. Do you want to do a bit more of a normal synopsis?
Yeah. All right then. Okay.
Oh, hang on.
Sorry,
I really shouldn't have popcorn in front of me.
I'm going to eat some now, but no, I won't because I'm going to talk. So all right, a slightly more detailed synopsis. Where's this from?
From me.
From you? Oh, from you.
I just thought I'd write one. It's not that good.
This. I'm going to read it.
I haven't cut and paste.
All right. A famous novelist, Roger Cobb, is suffering with PTSD, a divorce, and his missing child. So moves into his dead aunt's beautiful yet creepy mansion to write a memoir about his traumatic experience fighting in Vietnam. But the house, capital H, has a life of its own and uses his fears, trauma, and guilt to torment him. Is he going insane, or does the house really hold the key to his past? Excellent synopsis, well done.
Not bad. It's a bit serious.
Well, it is a serious film. I beg to differ about the comedy element.
But also, very quickly, going back to the reason I think that I haven't got the name of the critic from Rotten Tomatoes, because it just comes up on their homepage at the front. But they say chaotic and it's too chaotic, it's too aimless. And I would say that was like one of its strengths. I quite like the chaotic and the aimless and the fact that it doesn't make sense. I think 80s horror had this brilliant illogicness. That's not a word. Like Phantasm or, I don't know, Dream Demon. There's loads more. The Gate. They all have this like crazy element to it. even Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, there's no logic, doesn't matter.
No, but am I alone in thinking that this is none of those things? I don't think it's chaotic or illogical or...
I think they're saying chaotic tonal shifts when it goes from crazy house stuff and then they cut to the Vietnam War. So some critics are saying the film falls flat when they go to the Vietnam War
So you get
scenes.
the comedic moments in interspersed with the
him trying to write and do, you know, all of that stuff. The only thing I find funny about the Vietnam scenes is that it looks like someone's garden. There's sort of just added a bit of foliage and a lot of tight shots.
The budget.
Yeah.
The budget was $3 million, but it made a lot of that back. It made it well.
It was a success.
It was a success. $22 million it made at the box office. So. And that meant that there were sequels made. We had 4 house films in the end. The 4th one does bring it back to the beginning.
Yeah, and some people say they love the 4th. You know, I'm not very good at sequels, I'll be honest, and I'm such a house kind of supporter. But which one should I watch out of the sequels? Is it 4?
I mean, 4 is the only one that ties it back to the beginning. The other 2 are different houses, different people. Different
films
entirely, especially the 3rd one, which has no comedy whatsoever in it. But I liked the 3rd one best. It has Lance Henriksen in, and also Brian James, who was Leon, the replicant from Blade Runner.
Oh wow!
As this serial killer who comes back to life after having been killed by electric chair and comes back to haunt Lance Henriksen, the cop who caught him and his family. And it's really quite brutal, and that's like more of a body horror, if anything.
Oh, well, I like that as well.
I think you'd quite like that one.
Okay, let's get some basics out for
yes.
for people who don't know it. Let's share this one.
Okay. So, all right. So, to remind you all, House came out in 1985.
Stroke 6.
It was directed by Steve Miner, who I immediately knew as director of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Did you not do Part 1?
No, Sean S. Cunningham did Part 1.
Oh, it's basically, it's a real kind of collaboration between the Friday the 13th people, like the whole team, including Kane Hodder.
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't know this until you brought this to my attention. So he did Part 2, which was his directorial debut in 1982, and then came House. But also he directed episodes of The Wonder Years, and also did the film Warlock, which is another one from my childhood with Julian Sands, who went missing in recent years, tragically.
Under quite kind of mysterious circumstances, but
Yeah. I don't know if there's a house curse. No, a warlock curse.
Yeah, oh yeah. No.
Sorry. The movie was produced by the very prolific Sean S. Cunningham, who we just mentioned, who produced many of the Friday the 13th, and also Last House on the Left with Wes Craven. And
so I mean, good credentials.
Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason.
I think also I like the fact that it was actually brought to us by Roger Corman, who's kind of I don't know how to describe Roger Corman, kind of an exploitation. He did some exploitation type films, quite trashy films, and he gave us New World Cinema. So you'll see that if you like your kind of distribution, you know, like people like that, Pearl D and things like that. And it was one of the most successful films to emerge from Roger Corman's production company. Like other titles were Death Race 2000, 1975, Piranha, 1978, Rock and Roll High School, don't know that one, 1979, Caged Heat, and The Big Dollhouse. It launched careers as well because of Piranha. Was that Joe Dante, or did he do number 2?
Joe Dante. No, he did Piranha 1. Yeah,
that was it.
Which we screened at a Fright Night. We do a
So I mean, there's basically good horror sort of clout, I would say, going on behind the film House, and just for some fun. I quite like the names of some of Roger Corman's exploitation flicks.
Go on.
You wouldn't get it now, would you? I'm just going to say it's from 1970 to 1982. I'm not going to do all the individual ones. We've got The Student Nurses, Women in Cages, which I think we showed on the horror channel maybe. Black Mama, White Mama, Big Bad Mama, Crazy Mama, she's getting worse. Then there was Cannonball Death Sport, but also notably the Slumber Party Massacre in 1982, which was a slasher hit.
Did we say?
I think
that was directed?
I would love to find out. I've got a feeling it was directed by a woman, but I might be confusing it with something.
Look it up. So, directed by Amy Jones.
That's it.
And written by Rita Mae Brown. So
Rita Mae Brown?
that's like
Isn't that in Educating Rita?
No, wasn't in Ghost. Whoopi Goldberg's character is called Oda Mae Brown.
Oh yes. Dun, dun, dun. Weird connection.
Anyway,
okay.
So who's who?
Very quickly.
Quickly, yeah. Let's go through who's in the film. We've got William Catt in the lead role of Robert Cobb, who is
that's meant to be Roger.
Oh yeah, Robert
Roger Cobb.
Roger, it is Roger.
It is.
All
Roger.
right, William Catt in the lead role as Roger Cobb. He also played the nice one in Carrie in 1976. Tommy Ross, yes, he did, but he had curlier, curlier hair.
Big hair.
Oh my god!
And I
didn't
didn't make the connection till I researched it because he looks quite different.
And he comes back in part 4. Roger, we don't see him in part 2 or part 3 because different houses, different people. Comes back in part 4, and I'm not going to spoil that because you haven't seen it. George Wendt, as we mentioned earlier, Norm from Cheers. He plays Roger's affable neighbour Harold, who is also a Roger Cobb superfan.
Yeah.
And yeah, they both bring a lot of comedy to the film.
I mean, there's other people involved, but I've got a really fun, silly cameo fun fact for you. So, Kim, if you don't know this, because normally you know all of these things, so if you don't, I win this time. Who connects the film House? This would be a good quiz question. Who connects the film House to Austin Powers?
I've done this.
Who?
Ooh.
There's one person connecting House to Austin Powers.
I don't know. You
Okay.
have to tell me.
Her real name is Mindy Sterling, and she plays Frau Verbissner.
No
You know the
way,
one
yes.
who goes,
I know.
She shouts all the time. What does she say?
She's little.
Come now, yeah! All the time. But she's the crazy fan in the book signing.
Oh my god, which one though? There's all crazy.
There are loads of crazies, but she's like the sort of mumsy looking one with long blonde curly hair, and she pokes her head out
Yes!
to the side. She's
Yes!
like the fourth one back or something.
I remember, yeah, oh my god, that's bananas.
Weird connections. Anyway.
I love those fans. They're part of when I was making a villains list for this film, the fans is on the list collectively.
Oh. What's the fans? Sorry, I missed.
Well, villains in the
Oh,
film.
yeah.
Because they are part of the reason he unravels, part of the reason Roger Cobb is struggling as a human being. Yes, it's his Vietnam PTSD, but also his fans demand so much of him, and they're shown to be, they're all stereotypes and they're all kind of a bit unhinged, but they're kind of just demanding him fit a certain role. They don't want him to write his Vietnam book. Neither does his publisher or
That's
agent.
quite I don't know if that's a horror trope, but it could be a horror trope because it's almost like you get these demented fans who adore what you do, and then as soon as you decide to do something real, or there's that trope, especially in Misery as well.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you think, I want to stop doing that now. I know that was what made me a commercial success, but I want to do something real. I think actors do it as well.
Was that
now
in The
and then.
Mouth of Madness as well? Was that an element of that? Maybe?
I don't know, but I've seen it in loads of films where an author decides to go off piece and do something else, and the fans are really disappointed.
But he needs to write this for his own catharsis.
Sort of therapy and catharsis. Yeah, absolutely.
And they're resistant to it. And
I'm just going to jump in with music. I think obviously is key to any film, especially horror. I mean, it literally, without the music, if you watch it, there's no tension. Usually there's no suspense. And I love the music in House. So as soon as I did the rewatch for this podcast, it was the music that transported me straight away back into my little living room, age 12. I was like, oh my God, it's like, and the writing, which I think Stranger Things, the font of it is really similar
Stranger
to House.
Things has taken so much from House.
I haven't thought about it in terms of, and I know Stranger Things has taken a lot
It's
from...
all about a kid going missing within the house, and he has to go to another dimension to bring the kid back, and that's season 1 of season B. Yeah. Also Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. There's some quite big obvious comparisons there. So the music comes courtesy of Harry Manfredini, and he also scored the whole Friday the 13th franchise, as well as Swamp Thing and Wishmaster. Wishmaster's another funny,
isn't that like one of the most lucrative franchises? Wishmaster. No, it's got the most nude scenes in.
Oh really? I love these lists. I love these lists. I think we need to cover some real apparent crap films like Leprechaun or something. I don't know.
Let's do Wishmaster.
We could do Wishmaster.
So we were going to look at where House sits in the genre, with having mentioned some of those.
Take
classics.
everyone back.
And having
back
mentioned
in time.
Poltergeist 1982, Toby Hooper, Steven Spielberg produced, I believe. This comes before House, but there are
Poltergeist comes before House, and they must have been influenced. Literally. Child goes missing. The closet. There's a monster in a closet. I mean, I know that is obviously a big horror trope, but a child literally kind of gets that is the portal. That's the same in Poltergeist as House. But even the way Roger goes to save and find his child in said weird dimension is exactly the same as how I've forgotten her name. The mum the mum of Carol Ann. I'm sure I've written it down somewhere, to be honest.
Beth is her real name.
All you got to do, right? Tie a rope around you. It's very simple. Tie a rope around your waist. Right. So your child's gone missing.
Yeah.
It's in some sort of dimension. You can So she hears it in Poltergeist. Carol Ann's like this weird sound in the ceiling somewhere. In House, he sort of sees, it could just be his mind, but flashes of the child in the window, in the mirror. So he's in a weird dimension. That's all you need to know. And when you find out where that hole, that key, that door to the dimension is, you just put a bit of rope around you, tie it to someone. This seems so rudimentary to me, and then jump into the hole of nothingness. We don't know what happens when you're there a lot of the time, and then you just hopefully return with a scared, confused looking child in your arms.
In House,
and you pop out somewhere different. Like in Poltergeist, you fall through the ceiling. In House, the exit of the portal is the swimming pool, which is quite cool, I think, for just that transition.
Also, I mean, that's where the kid goes missing from, isn't it? So he
does go down a weird tunnel and shoots a really weird bat with a gun. Oh no, the bat with a gun.
When he goes through the mirror in the bathroom, is that?
So we are going to be on a lot of crazy tangents.
The swimming pool is like when they come out through the swimming pool. Oh my God, I've got so much to say on this. And when people say this is a stupid film or it's not intelligent, what are you talking about?
Thank you, Kim.
Because there's this whole theme of him. Well, you can read it again, like we just did Rosemary's Baby, and how you can read that without a actual devil within it. Well, you can read this without any of the supernatural stuff in it, just as a man who is working through his PTSD and coming out the other side. He's divorced from his wife. They split up because the agent or publisher, whatever role he has, says that his focus on doing this Vietnam project, his new book, is what split them up. But I think the implication is his focus on that and his trouble processing what happened in Vietnam is what really drove them apart. And so there's this idea in the film that so she's gone off, they still really care about each other, she's got custody of the kid. For me, there's a moment, the blonde neighbour that he's attracted to looks a lot like his wife. You can read her as being the wife who brings the kid over for a night when she's got an acting job on or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's this moment where he reconnects with his role as a father, and this is what starts bringing him back to himself. And shortly after that is when he goes through the portal and rescues his real son from the other dimension, and they pop up through the swimming pool. And that moment is like a rebirth.
Rebirth.
Yeah,
I knew
that's what it always means.
Yeah, popping up through water is a rebirth. Now, I thought that the reason they divorced, this is Roger and his wife, I've forgotten her name, was because their child was abducted, because he went missing in that pool. That's his aunt's house.
Yes.
The child went missing really quickly. You see
Sandy, that's what
That's it, Sandy. Roger turns his head for 1 second. Every parent's worst nightmare. Turns his head back again when his child was in the pool. Is it little Jimmy?
Jimmy, Jimmy.
And he's gone. He's just gone. And so yeah, that's a pretty serious theme.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Anyway, back to where the house sits in where we are in terms of the 80s and how house sits within all the other films that was coming out. So there were a lot of slashers and stuff like that, obviously. And this film notably isn't a gore film at all. I don't think there's any blood. I don't think. It's a kind of a not creature feature, but it's a ghoulish film. So we've got Fright Night in 1985. 1982 saw Creepshow, which is kind of similar with their ghoulish antics. The Gate, which sometimes comes up, 1987. Another kind of what I call childhood horror.
Yeah,
childhood horror
for me.
Both in the sense that I watched it as a child, but also in terms of the fears that the film is about. It's very much about what children are scared of, being in your home, and your home, your sense of security, everything that the home represents being against you. And the Gate has not a portal as such, but it's got all those crazy creatures in it as well. We had Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 1988, Chopping Mall, one of the best titles, Night of the Creeps, Evil Dead 2, Waxwork is another one of my little guilty pleasures. I think I've not seen it much though, so maybe it's shit on a second watch.
I haven't watched it for a long time. But also the Lovecraftian stuff, I'm thinking like Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness and stuff like that, where they tap into another dimension and there are monsters that come through.
But we don't get that now. It's almost like horror's just too sophisticated to do something like, I don't know, something like Hellraiser or something like House. It's like, these are horrors that don't always, I mean, they are serious in a way, but their logic isn't serious at all. And
there's far too much explanation now in a lot of not just horrors,
and
but film generally. When I was watching Apartment 7A, I thought they've explained way too much at the beginning. They've set up way too much in a way that Rosemary, exposition, in a way that Rosemary's Baby doesn't do. It just, and the mastery of that film versus something like Apartment 7. That is definitely
the difference.
And a more modern way of making movies. I don't know, but you do still get some amazing.
Ari Aster.
Masterpieces
is it Ari Aster?
Yeah.
Right. He's, I think, not just him. There's like the woman making, I can't remember her name, but like, there are people really flying the flag for new kinds of horror, especially the women coming through. But anyway, speaking of that, this is really off topic, but it's not off topic completely. Yes, it is. I'm going to cut that out. I was going to stick it into Rosemary's Baby. No, it's just a point. I'll cut this out.
Okay.
In Rosemary's Baby, what stood out to me as well was the font is so pink and curly. Yeah. I would have thought, oh my God, that's directed by a woman, because you see that loads in female directed horror.
Oh, wow.
And in like when people are being ironic. Yeah. Like it had that sort of like pink feminist look. I'm sure The Ugly Stepsister had that sort of thing. Anyway. Not House. I got confused with Rosemary's Baby.
Cut that out, stick it in there
somehow. Okay. So I classify House as childhood horror. I touched on this before, both because I watched it as a child and it definitely burnt itself onto my retina. And I don't know about you, Kim, but a lot of these unsung heroes, horror gems, whatever you want to call them, the reason they are such, the reason they are so, is because of when we watched them.
Yeah.
They would not have had this impact had we watched them now. So I just think when you watch something is key to how it affects you.
Yeah.
But also the actual idea of the use of the home. Literally, so in this film, and even the batty old aunt says, "This house knows you. It knows everything about you." And she's
so
wonderful.
insane. What is that
The
smile?
house took him. And when the wife goes, "Shut up, you old bat," and she goes, "Touchy," or something like that.
Do you know what? I really want. Why has no one made that prequel about her experience in the house leading up to her apparent suicide? We don't know if she actually killed herself, but she was found hanged at the start of the film House. But she was an artist, and her paintings were clearly her experiences of living in the house. But
it was all about the boy, the son that went missing. There are other paintings, because there's a painting they look at. Oh, look how excited you are. No, wait.
I'm going to mention Event Horizon.
Whoa.
No, there's that one painting on the stairs where there's this figure like buried in the sand or dirt, and it's got these spiky kind of bones or metal, whatever it is, encasing the torso. Everyone's naked in this painting, and then in the background there's a bonfire. There's two male naked figures in it, either dancing or burning to death, and then there's a naked woman kind of suspended with wires, contorted into this inhuman shape, and the aunt has painted this presumably from her experiences in this hell dimension,
hallucinations
of
that it
house.
gives you.
Well, is it because he does visit another dimension, whether that's real or not, I don't know. But and then there's another painting that sticks in my mind of a woman, a woman without any legs. So she's I don't know what's happened to the legs, but they're not there. And in the film, actually, he gets attacked by garden implements, doesn't he? The shears, and so that's happening to this woman in the painting too. So I'm like, why has no one made that film?
I should have known that.
It reminded me of Event Horizon and the Hell Dimension.
That's crazy biscuits. That really is. But the
and Hellraiser.
And the key painting did make me laugh a little bit. The one that you see at the very beginning. Yeah, it's like, here are the clues, right? At midnight, because there's a big Ben, big Ben, a grandfather clock. That's what I meant. Yeah. And it's at 12, and at 12 is when everything goes cuckoo, doesn't it? Because he opens the closet and it's fine. Then he opens it at midnight. Yeah. Suddenly there's a monster there.
The witching hour.
And so she's got all of these weird little clues, and there's the boy's face in the bathroom cabinet mirror, which is a bit of an odd place to have a portal. But anyway, I just thought that painting was really funny. It was a bit sort of obvious little clues.
But otherwise, the paintings I felt were kind of at odds with the tone, because those particular ones, because I thought this would make a fucking good film. Of its on its own, and I don't know why they didn't make that prequel, because they made 3 sequels.
Indeed.
Maybe they will.
But I think one of the sort of, if we're going into like primal fears, like how the film works, especially scaring children, and scaring the main character, Roger, is that the house, the idea that your home is literally watching your every move. It knows your fears, and it manifests them in truly nightmarish ways to kind of start driving you insane. And I think that is a frightening concept for a child. That's why we have things like monster under the bed or monster in the closet, because it's like your world is your home when you're a child, and for that to be turning against you and showing you these frightening images, is really terrifying.
So are you saying that the home is a villain or is a source of evil in the film?
Well, it shouldn't be. The home, you're like home in general isn't obviously, but if we're going to villainy, then yes, I guess I can't think of any other source of evil. But also the Vietnamese War. I think war.
Yeah, but I think
we'll touch on war later because there's loads of other films that kind of spun off from the Vietnam War themes.
That idea of the home and there's always this behind closed doors and what goes on and
abuse and stuff.
Yeah, and while there's no
so it's not your safe place.
No.
Opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's touched on.
So I think that's
or
an
not being a
fear.
safe haven, and for him, the home is this symbol of domesticity, of normality, and he's come from this abnormal kind of traumatic experience fighting in Vietnam, and comes into this suburban house and is expected to kind of slot back into society and civilization, and is struggling to do that. And for him it's a prison, it's a battleground, the home, and a place where his son is taken away from him.
I mean, it's his dead aunt's home, where he obviously kind of spent a lot of time. It's where his son went missing, as you said, and he's purposefully gone back there to write this book. So I think maybe he obviously wants to feel inspired and perhaps be able to go to a darker place.
Yeah.
Because he says at the beginning, my aunt said this place is haunted. Another really cool film connection to Ghostbusters. So the person, I don't know his...
I'm thinking about eggs in the fridge now.
No, the guy who's the real estate person who's trying to sell the house.
Yes.
I was watching it thinking, I know that face.
I knew his face.
I frigging know that face. Who is that? And he is the hotel manager who calls the Ghostbusters in. Do you remember?
Of course he is, yes. I know that now. But the whole time I'm thinking he's so familiar. He must have been in so many things.
I thought it was someone like Frank Oz or something. He looked like I was thinking, was he that cop in Miracle Melf in London? Was he in that? He looked like someone in that, but no. Anyway, so we've got lots of funny connections for you. For me as well, the film, especially as a child, you don't piece everything together, do you? Like you were saying, we didn't really care about the war, PTSD themes. For me, it was about the sort of set pieces, like the silly roller coaster moments that you get in these films where you really take note. And I think the first one, and it's still freaky and sinister, is when that frigging fish, that fucking fish on the wall, it's massive for a start.
It is massive.
And it's got big black doll eyes as well, like our friend Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
And that suddenly comes to life. And what is really scary is actually not just when it starts flapping madly, but when Roger walks away and then you sort of go to a shot of the fish's eye just starts following him. So the dead fish's eye starts moving. And I thought that was really chilling. I'm really scared. Didn't it? That scared me.
Obviously, not as a kid, that wasn't the scary thing for me. But now I've got Billy Bass in my head. I can't find that frightening. But the closet monster, definitely, he was quite scary. Is he? I don't know. Maybe it's a she. But what was it? War. They actually called it something.
Well, it's not. There's a character called Big Ben. We're jumping around a lot here, so do forgive us. I hope you've seen the film.
The War Demon, that's what we called
War
him.
Demon.
Who was the actual model of the War Demon, was 18 feet tall, fully mechanised, and operated by 15 people.
Yay!
And it featured, and I don't know what this means, but it featured a fully working lower bowel system. Now, bowels makes me think it was able to go to the toilet. Well, I don't think that's what it means.
I think it means sort of basement.
Yeah, I think
like
it does.
The underneath level,
Yeah.
or I don't know, maybe it could have a shit, who knows.
And also, just as a factoid to share, the film used puppetry and animatronics, as we've discussed, but also stop motion and actors in rubber suits for the monsters. I'm thinking about the witch the obese witch,
demon
I think.
wife
Who was his wife and. Yeah.
Oh my God! So I've got to talk about that scene really quickly because okay, so yeah, I love the flopping fish. I love the horrendous closet creature, the war demon.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking. I would be terrified. Like I'm not joking at all. I thought the clown-like, grotesque demon wife was horrifying.
She was
quite clown-like. Everything was exaggerated. She's fat, ungainly. She's got this horrible mouth, gnashing teeth,
and relentless.
And
even when she gets chopped up, she keeps coming.
Yes, but what. In terms of clever filmmaking, okay, here's another reason I think this film deserves a lot more praise. And this is a directorial decision. So it's taking risks. I think House, like, it takes a lot of risks. Like, again, a bit like Rosemary's Baby, a lot of it is sunny, it's daytime, everything's really normal. And they have all these really unexpected jump moments that I haven't seen in many films. So there's a scene where his real wife, Sandy, she's an actress, she turns up at the aunt's house because she's worried about Roger's sort of sanity. And she just sort of she comes to the door, and for reasons I can't go into now, there's two sort of bullets or shells that are on the floor under the table. And Roger clocks this and she sees it and she goes, "Oh, I'll pick those up for you." And she ducks down, so Sandy ducks down under the table to pick these bullets up for a second or two. And when she pops up, out of nowhere, she has transformed into this horrific vision of a demonic, grotesque version of his wife. And I think it's that abruptness that I found so jolting and unnerving. Yeah. And I think that is good directing.
And also, you know, because he ends up shooting her and killing her, and then the body as we see it and as he sees it, reverts to his ex-wife's body. So he thinks he's killed her and we think he's really killed her, and it's not until right at the end when she turns up again, right at the end, that we know that he hasn't actually shot and killed her.
Which is the house playing, because I mean obviously tricks, again no logic, the house is playing tricks with his mind, and you could read it as he's just also losing his mind.
Did you know that actress Kay Lenz, who plays Sandy, was probably most famous for that role and Clint Eastwood's Breezy in the 70s, but apparently they had wanted, or they had considered for that role, Glenn Close before her, and Sigourney Weaver. We talked about Ghostbusters.
Oh, I saw that. They're a bit too good for a tiny little role. Yeah.
And also, before I forget to say it as well, because Tanya, who is the neighbour, the sexy blonde neighbour who brings her son Robert over for babysitting, who looks a lot like the wife, she was a Miss World 1977, Miss World 1977, and also she was a Bond girl in two Bond films.
She was a Bond girl with, was it Roger Moore?
Octopussy, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And A View to a Kill.
Love View to a Kill.
So just wanted to say that before I forget.
And I think the film is a little bit risky and cool in terms of where you place it. I mean, people say, oh, it's haunted, the house is haunted, even the characters say that. But it's not a haunted house film, there's no ghosts as such. It's not a zombie film, it's not a demon film, it's not a creature feature. So I think it's sort of got, it's not its own genre, but I think it kind of almost stands alone.
I think it's kind of Lovecraftian. It is like this alternative dimension thing which unleashes strange monsters, but...
Let's talk about, there is, I mean, we've touched on it a little bit, but where there is clear slapstick territory here, where, it's a bit of child abuse. The hand that he chops off of his wife, a dog unfortunately digs it up.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
The neighbour's, Norm's dog. Sorry, not Norm. What's the neighbour called? Howard. George Wendt.
Or Harold. Harold, I think.
Harold, sorry.
Yeah.
Harold,
And then when the sexy neighbour comes over saying, "Can you babysit my son?" He thinks he's having a good time, but no, he's there to babysit her son. And this kid turns around, and that's quite a tingly moment.
Yeah.
This disembodied hand is clinging to this poor child's back, and Roger's like, ah! He will do anything to sort of get this hand off him, including like running after the child, kind of grabbing the child, throwing him, making him cry, throwing him into the
That kid's
bathroom.
such a good actor. I'm like, is he really? But didn't you think he was like, he was really crying?
Someone's off camera making him cry. Like, and they're going, "Your mummy will come back soon." They meant it.
You could do that in the 80s.
Yeah, you could. And then he sort of flushes the hand down the toilet. And there's a really funny scene where he's babysitting. This child gets taken off by a new ghoulie, and he just sort of, for some reason, goes into the fireplace, and he disappears up the fireplace, and you see his little legs kind of go wee, like right up the fireplace really quickly. He's being taken by this ghoul. That made me laugh.
Oh, cruel! You're so cruel.
I know. But yeah, as you say, you can get away with it back then. Okay, there's loads to get through. Well, I'm going to go on to some of the more Vietnam War kind of theme thing.
Okay.
But while I've got it in front of me, apparently there were rumours of a reboot. Like a new reboot of the original house. So,
I don't want a reboot. I want a reboot.
She's eating.
Reboot. I'm trying to eat my cheesy poops. I want a prequel.
Prequel would be good, I think. Yeah, but apparently Sean Cunningham, this has been in pre-production hell since 2015. Sean Cunningham wanted to revisit it. And I looked it up, and the last rumours online were from about 3 years ago. So yeah, the sort of it went cold. The lead went cold. So to be fair, Cunningham is 84 years old now, so it might be a bit too late to remake House. But apparently, no, he did want to do an origin story for House, and that could have happened, but it's been stuck in production hell, as I said, since 2015. You never know. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
All right.
So
I can't find that bit in the script.
we're gonna do. It's right. I can cut some of this out. There's some good stuff there. That's Roger's sort of character arc when he says, "I'm not afraid of you anymore," but we can come back to that at the end.
Yeah.
But we are already on
51
fucking
minutes.
out. I'm gonna cut that out because I've already done it. Right. Themes of PTSD and horror. It's
over there.
There you go.
Page, yeah.
Sorry,
That's all right.
that's what I don't print on both sides. I just go.
Yeah.
Or I should at least number my pages.
Okay.
So, as we've already mentioned, the very serious side of the film is the fact that Roger, the character, was a soldier in the Vietnam War, and it was obviously very traumatizing. And this links the entire story, the beginning and the very end, with a character called Big Ben, who's his like war buddy. So, talking about Vietnam, I suppose, influencing films back then. So, like several horror films of the 70s, 80s and early 90s, one of the themes is the mental trauma of the Vietnam War. I guess in the UK it's not very relevant, but obviously it etched the trauma into the American psyche back then. And so here the Vietnam War is relived and dreamt of by Roger, the protagonist. And apparently this can largely be attributed to the actual recognition of post-traumatic stress disorder. So PTSD was only recognised in 1980 by the American Psychiatric Association, and there was an increased understanding of PTSD symptoms, i.e. nightmares, flashbacks, with an increasing number of Vietnam veterans committing suicide even as a result of their wartime experiences. So because this was all happening in 1980, I think that's why it sort of you started seeing it in films of the time. So in many ways, films like House reflected a change in the sort of national consciousness as war ceased being depicted as a glorious event and began to be seen more as a sort of harrowing thing. So looking at films, there's one that is before 1980, and I don't know it, called Death Dream, 1972.
No, I don't know it either.
Where a soldier returns home to his family in the US, but it's actually a flesh-eating, undead entity. The main one that comes to mind is, I reckon...
Jacob's Ladder.
That's a clear...
Yeah, from 1990.
Clear
it's funny,
Vietnam reference.
in House, which, as we know, came out in 1985/6, there's a line from his, I can't remember if he's his publisher or his agent, but he says, nobody wants to read about the Vietnam War anymore, and this is 1985. So, Jacob's Ladder, 1990, which is a psychological horror about a Vietnam veteran dealing with dissociation and terrifying hallucinations in New York, which isn't that far removed from House, actually. Blurring the line between his war memories and reality. So PTSD again explored.
Yeah. I mean, Cannibal Apocalypse is a bit different, but it follows, that was 1980 as well. It follows Vietnam prisoners of war who return to America carrying a virus that turns people into cannibals, and slightly more tenuous, but it's more of a like attitude, I suppose. We mentioned it earlier. Toby Hooper gave us the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974, showing the sort of nihilism and brutality of like post-60s lovely kind of America. And I don't know if he actually said this. I think he did. Didn't he say, I want to show like what America's really like, or what we're really, I don't know. I think he cites post-Vietnam America as kind of the inspiration behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as well as maybe Ed Gein and things like that.
The paranoia and violence of that era, post-Vietnam in America, was part of the inspiration. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. So there is, like, as I've gone on to realise, hidden depths to the film, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say what I've said before, so I'm not going to repeat myself.
No. I haven't got much trivia, and I think I've sort of mentioned it already. But there's a lot of people are massive fans of Kane Hodder. I mean, he's so big in the industry as a stunt coordinator, who was stunt coordinator for House. And of course, he also played Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th Part 2. Originally, we're talking about the comedy element. So the script was written by Fred Dekov, and it was completely serious. It was really dark. It was a lot more grim and sort of sad and just horror. And it only became quirky and funny with humour when this writer called Ivan Wiley came on board, and he wanted to make it more light-hearted, which is what makes it a guilty pleasure, I think. It's the comedy.
Yeah, that moment at the end of it's so bizarre. Right at the end, when Sandy turns up at the house, the upper floor of the house is on fire because Roger has stuck that hand grenade underneath Big Ben's ribs, and he's exploded, and him and Jimmy, the son, have got out of the house, and she turns up in a taxi, like as if, so imagining like she's dropped the son off, as I described earlier, in her guise as Tanya the neighbour, for babysitting while she does what she has to do as an actress, or as a schmoozer, whatever she's doing. So she's come back to pick up her son, and she sees the top floor on fire, and he comes running over to her, and she's like, "Oh, my son," picks him up, and "my baby," I think she says something like that, and she starts crying. Obviously, in the literal interpretation of the film, her son's been missing all this time. But in this moment, if you're looking at it as being, you know, a PTSD fever dream or whatever, none of that's happened. The house is still on fire. The son's outside. She's scooped her son up. She's like, fucking hell, Mike, this kid could have perished in this fire. And then he looks over to her. I don't think he's looking at the camera. I can't quite remember now. And he just gives this wonderful smile, like everything's right in his world again.
Well, it is. I think he's basically, it's almost that save the day, get the girl, get
he's
the princess.
He's worked through his issues now. He's back to...
Yeah, he's become... I think he goes from zero to hero as well. There's that element of it. I mean, what do you make of... Let me try and get my head around this. My only beef with this film is sort of how it wraps it all up with the character Big Ben. I don't know if you think that's cool or clever. But basically, how it goes down in the ending is that... so Big Ben... We didn't even explain this, did we? The reason Roger is being so traumatized and tormented is that his buddy Big Ben during the Vietnam War was sort of he gets really injured and he's lying there and he's begging Roger to kill him. He's saying, please just finish me off now. It's like the kindest thing to do. And Roger can't do it. He hasn't got the guts to do it. Hasn't got the balls. And then they sort of hear noises. Roger runs off and hides, and this Big Ben is injured, can't move, and he's still alive, and he gets dragged off by like the Viet Cong people. And it turns out, as he reveals later, they kept him alive for weeks, torturing him. So poor Big Ben. So apparently this whole house fiasco, the whole reason the son was abducted was that he was actually abducted kind of by the house, but the house is like a portal by Big Ben to wreak revenge. To wreak revenge for Roger not having the balls to just finish him off, and it would have been a much kinder death. So I'm like, how does that all work though? So what? Big Ben died and then somehow made his way to the house, but how would he know to go there? Abduct the son, take him through the bathroom cabinet, keep him back in Vietnam.
It's another dimension. It works on a different logic.
But that's basically what happened. That's Jimmy got abducted by the
how they
soldier.
set up through all the flashbacks and stuff. You see that Ben guy as this loose cannon essentially. He doesn't like authority. He's like, who is this guy telling me what to do? And Roger's like, that's literally his job. He's our boss. He's got to tell us what to do. So this guy doesn't like taking orders, doesn't like authority. He, at that moment that we see later where he's been shot, it's almost his fault he's been shot. He's gone gung-ho. Yeah. He's put himself right in...
Been risky.
Yeah, and then Roger's like, be quiet, because if you don't, they'll come back. And it's entirely his doing that he's making sounds, and it's not just that he's screaming in pain. It's not even that. I think he starts yelling at Roger because he won't kill him off, and he's like, I'll go and get help. And then they come back, and so he's the architect of his own.
He is, but I feel like I would be pissed as well if I was tortured for weeks on end because someone. I mean, it is pretty hard to kill a mate, I guess.
But the film tries to show us in all ways that it's not Roger's fault at all. He did everything right.
And he shouldn't feel guilty. So a lot of the film, I think, is trauma and PTSD, but I think it's about facing your guilt. It is, yeah. Facing your guilt and your fears and dealing with that head on. And there's a slightly cheesy line at the very, very end when Roger says something like, to when Big Ben comes back. It's a bit silly though, he just sort of rings the doorbell and like, I'm coming to get you. That's the only thing I don't like is when Big Ben goes a bit like cheesy and hammy and starts speaking. It's like when I didn't love it when in Nightmare on Elm Street when Freddy keeps cracking jokes. But anyway,
me neither. No.
Yeah, that was the only thing. But Roger says to him something like, I'm not afraid of you anymore. And then that's it. It kind of like, that's his turning point, and he faces his fear, kills him off, gets his son back, gets his wife back. But happy ending. And that's why we like House.
And that's why we like House.
That is why we love House. And I said this was only going to be a half-hour episode, but we obviously love it so much. And it's deeper than every film we do. It's like, it's deeper than you think.
It always is. You can always read anything. You can always, actually, not always. Mostly you can read a lot. Even if it's not intentional, because it's unintentional.
Because we can have some what's-its now. I was going to say
what's-its throughout. Sorry.
So no, it's all right. So we have already done a little snippet on our socials, but I'm going to do it now for the podcast. We genuinely really want to know what your personal horror gems are, or your unsung heroes, the films that you know are not critically amazing, they're not The Shining, but you love them anyway, and you feel like they deserve a little bit of attention, and perhaps the Kim and M makeover. We both genuinely want to know what those titles are. Kim has one, and she gets to do this one soon.
Am I going to announce it now?
You can do, because we're going to do it.
It's going to be Extra. Oh my God, a formative horror. One of the first horror films I ever watched.
This is like Kim's favourite film. Mm-hmm. I have seen it. Definitely need to rewatch it because it's very blurry. I can see why you like it. Mm-hmm. Is it underrated then, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
but
underrated.
I reckon there'll be a big fan base out there as well as hidden extra.
Underrated and really unhinged.
So films like that, guys, films like House, films like Extra, stuff that's not necessarily heralded by everyone as a brilliant horror film, but one that you bloody love. Tell us what they are. DM us. Put it in the comments on our Instagram, and join us on Patreon and let us know. In the meantime, I guess that's it from us. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this revisiting and appreciation of House.
Stay evil.
Stay evil.